Johnny.
What we saying?
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum salam.
I had to get somebody to answer me.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. You gonna get it somewhere.
And I did say good afternoon.
Yes, sir.
All right. Today is another special day that we have in Sabaye here. We have one of our prominent speakers from the New Age Troop. I think you are the CEO?
I'm president.
President of the New Age Troop. And New Age Troop is self-explanatory. This is Brother Ed Brown. I want everybody to go around and introduce themselves so this brother know you personally when he see you again. Start from you.
Brother Henry Carter.
Brother Henry Carter.
Yes,
Brother Ed.
Sister? Sister?
Sister Penny.
Brother Kwame.
Brother Kwame. Brother Ed.
Brother Yah.
Brother Yah.
Yes, sir. Brother Henry.
Oh, yeah.
So we got two Henrys here now. You can't get the Henrys
right.
mixed up. Last time these two Henrys got together, they said, oh, I like that. And this is Sister Akua. Akua. You know brother Ed.
Oh, yeah.
You very well.
Yeah, I know him for a
All right then.
Brother Jerry Shannon.
Oh, okay, Brother Jerry. Brother Ed. Greetings. Greetings, everyone.
Doug Valentine, aka Jehudi Baruch.
All right.
Brother Jehudi.
All right, brother.
Now, I want you to open your ears and your mind up with some New Age truth. Give another hand.
Thank you. Thank you, Brother Henry.
All right.
Listen, my brothers, this is the time that we've been waiting for. This is the time that the Creator had in mind for us when He brought us over on this side of the planet. He had a purpose behind it. It wasn't for just folly or for some race to make money. Okay? But He needed a certain type of man on this side of the planet. A man that was capable of metaphysical thought. Little brother, as I call him, the youngest race on the planet, is not capable of metaphysical thought. But we are. Okay, let's start here. As you can see, this is what we call the great year. Great year is 25,920 years in length. Okay, let me say that again. 25,920 years to make a complete revolution around this cycle. That's the sun and the system that we live in, right? That the earth is in. It takes 25,920 years for this system to make a complete revolution around this solar system of this planet. It's broke down into planetary day and planetary night. Planetary day is a time of knowledge without wisdom. Knowledge with wisdom. Planetary night is just the opposite, time of knowledge without wisdom. This information that I'm bringing to you was presented by a God man. His name is Dr. David M. Berry. His mission was to reestablish this information that was lost in Kemet. Why was it lost? We are here. We just entered Aquarius. Okay? Aquarius is 2,160 years in length. All of these sections here are 2,160 years in length. During this time, some of the ancient monuments on the planet that was built during this time, during the planetary day. We are children of the planetary day. Little brother is a child of the night. He came out in the planetary night. This is his first time around. we've been around this many times. Many times. In Atlantis, that's when he came out. Atlantis in its heyday, according to our teachings that Dr. Berry left for us, when it was at its apex, was better than 1 million years ago. Okay. Some 6,000 years ago, we entered this section, planetary night. Taurus and Aries in this planetary year, this cosmic year, this 25,920 years in length, this is the 2 winter months of that time. We're in January and February now. January and February is our 2 winter months. Taurus and Aries is the winter months of this time, of this cycle. It's crystallized out here now, right? Really a period of inactivity as opposed to summertime. So the knowledge that we had up here, we went to sleep when we got here. You know, they talk about this time, you know, that there were gods that walked the earth, right? And some of the things that they did, like the pyramids, right? Other pyramids on the other side of the planet, all over this planet, there are things that are created, and the wisest men of this time can't figure out how the wisest men of that time did it. They're still trying to study and figure and work on how did they do it. Well, the short answer is this. We were in tune with more cosmic energy here that stimulated the mind here. Just like we're going into the night now, right? And we're gonna lay down and rest ourselves. Well, we went into a perlay here. See? A cosmic slumber. The wise initiates of this time knew this time was coming. So they put wisdom, knowledge in the pyramids, in the myths, and in the zodiac. So that when we would kind of stir, begin to awaken, we could recapture some of that ancient wisdom knowledge that's encoded in those structures. Mm-hmm. So we wouldn't have to start from a dead lift. You know, we wouldn't have to start all over again without some
guidance.
Some guidance. A little something to, you know, to help us along as we recapture some of the ancient wisdom that we had here. Right. Number one, black folks are the ones that brought the ancient wisdom down in the first place. We are those people. All the math that they're using, chemistry, engineering, physics, all of that is our information that they got from us. But now we're going to sleep now, you understand? And that's the only reason that they were able to do what they did to us. It wasn't them. If you got a man who can move a 2-ton stone with his mind, what are you going to do with it?
You can't touch it.
You better leave him alone.
Exactly.
See? But nature set up this night and day, just like we got night and day now. We can't stop it. You know, you have to just prepare. But now, since we left the winter months, the first section in the spring was in Pisces. we were supposed to awaken men. See? But unfortunately, the information that the man that they call Jesus, not like what they wrote in the Bible now, okay? That's our stuff, all right. Because they wasn't thinking about that up there in Europe. Their mind wasn't on that kind of mental capability. They was trying to figure out how they can kill somebody. Yeah. Right? But some cosmic energy was coming during this time. And a man had to be prepared to teach about it. So they found a man called a carpenter's son. Okay? Who was prepared to be a representative of this energy. I'm not talking about what they wrote in the Bible now. You know, that's okay. All right. All right, now we're in the second month of the spring. And you know how that is, right? The energy's rising. Now it's going to keep rising until we get up here, and then we enter the planetary day again. We're in elementary school down here. This is high school and college up here. Okay? All right. All right. And if you notice now, the vibrations are rising. Have y'all seen some of that? You can see it in the children. They're a lot sharper, quicker.
Right.
That's the, you know, as the vibration rises, the children that we bring down, their mentality rises. See? All right. Now let's look here, Aquarius. See what that says there above there? Divine consciousness. The energy that's coming in on this planet now is stirring up our mentality to the point where we can be able to become conscious of the divinity in us. Consciousness. The first dimension of consciousness was created consciousness. That came in Pisces. Created consciousness deals with the functions of this body, the laws that control it. Feeling, passion, emotion, desire, and impression are all a part of this form. If we're going to become masters, we got to learn about the form. How you going to master something and you don't know nothing about it? How you going to drive a car and you don't know what it brakes do? You know, you don't know nothing about it. So we had to be brought over here because this is where the energy is circulating. What's the proof of that? All truth carries some proof, right?
Right.
If it's true, it's going to prove itself, right?
Right. Yeah.
Math, science, engineering, all of that has been exploded over here in North America. In fact, North America has been is feeding the world. Everybody come here to be educated. That's not because they're so smart, because they're using our stuff now. You know, like the numbers in mathematics, the numbers we use, 1, 2, 3, 4, you know, and so on.
Right.
That came out of India. Now, I just don't have all my stuff here, you know.
Yes, sir.
But I could bring out a paper and give it to you. There's a temple in India called the Temple of Zero. The first and oldest recorded temple that has the number, the letter or the number 0 written in it in stone. And all the other numbers that we use from 1 to 9. The Indians, they created that. That comes from us. So when they tell us that we are the sons and daughters of God, that's true. That's who we are. We just went to sleep. See? Nothing he did. He couldn't handle us. He had trouble with us when he got us over here. He regret bringing us over here. And they couldn't handle us. But now it's time for us to wake up about who we are and assume the responsibility that the Creator has entrusted in us. You know, if mom and daddy go away from the house, you got sons and daughters in the house there. Who is held responsible for that? The oldest. Daddy and mama come home, the house in disarray. Who they gonna do? They gonna go to the, hey boy, what's wrong with you? You done lost it, ain't you? You see it? Yeah, we were snatched out of the culture, but we had to be in order to receive the new. You can't receive the new and you still absorbed in the old. Because this thing is like a spiral, right? You might start here, but as the vibration rises, when you get back around to that point, you up here. So we had to be where he was disseminating this knowledge, touching the mind of man with this knowledge. Okay? Now here, this is the problem. You see, I got to put him up so he can be seen. I want y'all to see this, folks. Okay. And then I'm gonna put my teacher on. I got an excerpt that I want y'all to hear. Okay. All right, these are two beasts here, right?
Yes, sir. Right.
One beast is attacking the other beast. Y'all see it? The other beast has wings. That means divine. The ability to transcend matter. This nature would want to attack, want to fight all the time, want to argue, want to carry on and everything, want to be in charge. It's not about you, it's about I, me, not you. It's not inclusive. You can't include him because you know, you ever been in a place, you know, somebody come in, you know it's gonna be trouble. Oh Lord, he done showed up. What I'm gonna do now? That's this fellow. Okay, this is a part of the ancient wisdom teaching, all right? In this illustration of archaeological symbolism, we see the idea of the dualities of our natures, represented by the two creatures at war. Throughout our earthly lives, there's a constant contest between the soul, the winged creature, and the animal body. Let's hold it right there. There's only two types of matter: organic matter and inorganic matter. Inorganic matter cannot reproduce within itself. Organic matter can reproduce. Plant, animal, fowl, man. So, the matter in these forms is organic. Therefore, it's an animal body. Now, no matter how pretty it looks, you know, we think these forms so pretty, but it's got a beast nature to it. And you all can witness, y'all live long enough now to know, you know, there's something that you touch on,
We've been through it.
and you know, it's gonna be some trouble now. You know, if you let that thing loose in you, you either wind up in jail someplace or dead. Right?
Right.
That's the fellow we got to get control of. You can see it in our neighborhoods and things. You know, We haven't learned how to rise above that nature. It's an animal body. It's not really us. It's the vehicle for the soul. I'm going to give you that information before we go. Man. What is man? Man, the word man comes from the ancient Sanskrit word manu, which means the thinker. So man is the thinker. This body is just a means for the thinker to have his activity out here. But he's got to learn how to master that beast nature. Now we are the Creator's oldest sons and daughters. Up here, in this planetary day, we were masters. And we proved it by the things we were able to bring down, the knowledge of creation, mathematics, science. We proved that. We built structures they can't figure out how we did it. Okay. So man is mind. In this symbolism, we see that the soul is represented by the winged creature, capable of walking the earth and flying through space. That means using the mind to go where you want to go. Okay. But we see it being attacked by the strong creature of the earth plane, who wants to argue against every opportunity of dominance given the soul. Now, if we examine ourselves, because all this is talking about what? Within us. See, he's not going to get that unless he gets some help. When I'm talking about little brother, he's materialistic. It's everybody else but here. But the Creator knows that we're old enough and capable enough to understand that, if it's broken down to you. And in your life, if we look at our life, examine our lives, we can see where we allow the beast nature to speak up, act up. You know, we didn't mean to do it, but something just jumped out there, man. Before I could think about it. That's because of the subconscious mind, what we put here. So when that thing snapped it up, it reacted. Out it came. And we want to call it back. I'm sorry, I can't call it back. So we got to get it before it gets out there. Got to get a hold of it. But we see it being attacked by the strong creature of the earth plane who wants to argue against every opportunity of dominance given the soul. See, this doesn't want harmony.
Right.
He wants, I want it my way, the way I want it. And nobody else is included in that. Do it my way. Me, I. If it wants to be the preeminent and overpowering mind force in our daily thinking and activities. Have you ever noticed how hard it is to control your mind on one thing? One constructive thing. One constructive thing. But now, if you want to watch the game, man, we can sit there.
3 hours.
Hey, you know, we focused right in there. Oh yeah, that was a good catch, man. You know, but if we try to put ourselves on something constructive, you notice how you change your thought?
It's hard. Yeah.
You're gonna get where you're trying to think on one thing. Somebody said it was constructive. Yeah, I got to think about this because I want to get that together. Before you know it, you're talking about something else, or you're thinking about something else.
Yes, sir.
That shows you the extent of dominance that this creature has. This creature has over here. When we were building things up here, okay, oh man, we're focused. We put our mind on what we wanted to be on, as long as we wanted it to be on it. We dominated this thing. Focus our mind and lift something rise. We got control over that here. But the life force went down that supplied the energy to our minds, and we weren't able to do that down in the planetary night. It wants to be the preeminent and overpowering mind force in our daily thinking and activity. So test yourself. See how long you can keep your mind on a mathematics problem, or some constructive idea. How much energy can you give it and stay on that problem without him taking you over someplace?
Go ahead.
You start here and end over in China somewhere.
Go ahead. Yes, sir. Distract.
Take you over. One or the other of these two natures in man must win eventually. Well, we already know who won. We can tell that by what we produce, how we are affected. One of the biggest deceptions is keeping us upset with the white man all the time. That dominates our thought.
Oh, that's something gets to me.
And we feel good about that. We enjoy that. We can talk about that all evening. And we don't, you notice we don't get no opposition here in talking about him and what he did. And I'm not saying it's not true, but I'm saying it dominates our thought. Well, what about all that anger and that hatred that come through there? Because if you think on that, you're going to get upset and angry.
Go ahead. Emotion.
But what good does that do to us? What does it do to our form? Now, when we get all that anger and hate in us, and we go home,
Thought process.
we use our strong mind, and we got strong minds, but we just use them in the incorrect manner. Now, when we walk in the house, how's that going to affect the wife?
You already vibrate.
See? She can probably tell when you hit the door, oh, Lord. You've been talking about the white man. He's mad already. Now, what happens to that energy that comes into the home? How does it affect the children?
It emits.
See what I'm saying? Now, universal law, like attracts like.
They got problems.
Uh-oh. So now we done picked up momentum on the way home, and we got more of that destructive vibration.
Go ahead.
So when we hit the door, boys, it's gonna shake everybody up. We may not be able to tell it because we so immersed in the emotion and upset.
Teach.
Now, that's one of the reasons why they don't want to live around us.
Go ahead.
Because they done set that in motion, see? And they know we done.
Get away.
Yeah. See, so now they ready, okay.
Yes, sir.
All right, y'all take care.
Yes, sir. Teach.
And they know what's gonna happen.
Yes,
All
sir.
that energy is gonna vibrate all through our neighborhoods, and
And implode you. Yes, sir.
if it's gonna stop, we gotta stop it. I'm not saying that what they did was right, but they gonna pay for it. They're gonna pay for it. You can't do something to somebody and not have that thing come back on you,
Right.
because everything returns to its source. You set it in motion, it's coming back to you. And it's coming back bigger and badder and uglier than when it went out. Because what? Like attracts like.
You got power. Yes, sir.
So it picks up momentum. By the time it gets back to you, it'll knock you out almost.
Yes, sir.
Take you off the planet if it's, You want to see how that's operating? Look at Trump.
Yes, sir. We just had the right thing.
See, he tried to hold that thing back. He tried not to talk the way he normally talked.
Be yourself.
See, that thing came out of him before he could call it back.
Yes, sir.
Why you want to bring them people from that old place? Why you? Oh, I said that. Oh, God.
Too late.
Now he trying to go. I didn't say that. But that's, you see what I'm saying? If they work for him, and he's a billionaire.
Go ahead.
See, God have not respect a person. So if it work on him, you know it's gonna get us too, right?
Go ahead.
Because the law is the law.
Law, right.
The thing we gotta learn is how to use the law in our benefit. If you only get what you send out, then if we control what we send out, we can build our own life the way we want it.
Control what you see.
Control what you send out. That's our freedom. That's how we get free, because the law cannot be broken. You can't change the law.
Right.
You can't stop it from being what it is.
True.
The thing is, we've forgotten all of that. We went to sleep. We went to sleep in this planetary night. We knew that. Didn't nobody come from Europe come up and commit during this time.
Exactly.
You notice even Chancellor Williams, he don't go back up in here, he goes 6,000 years.
Beginning of the darkness.
The beginning of the planetary night. Up there, we weren't worried about nobody coming there. They weren't coming up in there. They couldn't stand that vibration. It was too much for them. See? Wasn't qualified.
Got a question, brother?
Yes, sir.
The symbol of the two beasts,
Yes.
the two natures,
Uh-huh.
can that be related to the planetary day and night? In other words, the beast or the one that's not winged, when he's dominant, is that the dark? Can I relate
That's
that
the
to
dark.
darkness? Okay.
That's right.
Yes.
When you get up in here, this fellow is subdued.
Gotcha. Right.
But we got to do it down here.
Oh. Yeah, I feel it.
Oh yeah. See, that's graduation. Each time we go, we've been around this many times now. But when we go up in here, this has got to be subdued. We got Aquarius. Okay. The first dimension of consciousness is creative consciousness. That's learning about the nature of this form and the laws that control it. The beast nature, feeling, passion, emotion, desire, and impression. That's what controls this form, dominates it. All right. Give you a small example. Feeling dominates everything that eventuates from this form. So we really got to watch feeling.
Say those four again. Feeling.
Feeling, passion, emotion, desire, and impression.
Do we need that light on stage there?
I don't know.
You looking awful dark.
You want me to turn it?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I got
Is
you.
that-
You get it, take care of it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes,
Is that
those
in here?
switches. Yes, sir.
Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's bring light on it. All right. Then the next dimension of consciousness, after you learn about the nature of the form, that gives you a chance to work on this fellow, right? Watch yourself. All right, the next one is divine consciousness. Now you ready to move away from this form and understand, begin to learn about the God in you, the soul. That's the divine nature. See, they talk about the soul, you got to save the soul. How you gonna save something you don't know what it is? Well, why would God give you a soul, request you to save it, send you to hell forever if you don't, and yet not tell you what it is?
Not making conscious of it.
Well, that's not God. That's not just. Can we be more just than God? But it just shows you that this information they put in the Bible was not from them. They're planetary night people.
Go ahead.
How they gonna
Okay,
understand
discern
things
light.
from the planetary day?
Exactly. It's not in the thought process. Go ahead.
You see it?
Yes, sir.
So they knew, it says that Constantine saw the cross, he said, oh yeah, with this I shall conquer. And it's true.
Toxic, no
That's right.
And you better not tell them there wasn't no Jesus. But, you know, it says save yourself and them that hear you. You know, now if somebody wake up, then I got some information for you. The rest of you better leave them alone. You know, leave them alone. Because you know what they don't know.
Right.
They don't think that this form is too pretty and too sanctified. You know, I mean, I'm being lighthearted with it. But
Yes, sir. Paint the picture.
this fella wake up, I mean, this fella here, they'll do something to you. See? So you have to wait till they awaken. You know, and the main thing is let us awaken. Okay, let us awaken. All right, divine consciousness. That's the second dimension. That's where we are now. We got to do double time. We got to learn about the nature of the form, the laws that control it, and then begin to learn about the soul. We got to do double time trying to get back up to the planetary day. See? All right. The last wisdom, last consciousness is wisdom consciousness. You got to have all three before you qualify now to get up into the planetary day.
I'm looking at that, the zodiac.
Yeah.
I'm seeing it's going counterclockwise and not clockwise, right? You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I'm seeing we're starting in January and going back this way.
Mhm.
So we're going counterclockwise there. So why are we into a clockwise motion now and things that we say?
Well, you know, in Kemet, north was south.
Go ahead, break it down. You got it. We're in reverse.
Everything is in reverse.
Yes, sir.
Due to
Yes, sir.
due to the planetary night.
So when I'm just
Go ahead. No, go ahead,
So
bro.
when you're saying commit, you know,
Mhm.
can you break that down? So we-
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh, well, I'm sorry. I took for granted.
Nah,
Yeah, and I shouldn't have.
I appreciate it.
But the Kemet is the ancient name
Okay,
of Egypt.
okay,
The Greeks call it Egypt,
okay.
but the people call themselves Kemet
Commit.
or Kemetians. But they don't want to say that because Kemet means black.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
Black.
Chemistry, everything.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
They- Black folk.
Black mystery, chemistry.
See? And they're trying to keep it mixed, you know. Egypt. It's just all a little smoke and mirrors trying to. But that's the true name of our ancestral homeland.
It's commit.
Yeah.
Can I ask you another one?
Sure.
So where did the Moorish, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what I was
Right.
thinking. The Moorish cut that was.
You know, that
cut
I'm not familiar with. That's not my.
No.
Yeah.
I heard you use the word black. That's the reason I
Right.
said, you know what I'm saying?
Well-
They use
well,
us as
black folk
Right.
are the ones that we are the first sons and daughters of the Creator here on this planet. That I can
That's right.
commit to.
Right.
The source and origins of the Moors I do not know about.
Okay.
But our original homeland, our first homeland was in the Pacific Ocean called Lemuria. Uh-huh. That was our original. We came down in Lemuria. And then they had some kind of earthquake and everything, and it sunk. Huh? Yeah, it sank in the Pacific Ocean. Now they said it's coming back. That's what they said, it's rising now. Then from Lemuria, we went to Atlantis.
Okay.
And they say, he taught us that Atlantis in its heyday was better than 1,000,000 years ago. In its heyday, when it was at its apex.
It was that Atlantis that they say they found from the ocean, you know what I'm saying? There was,
Right.
They found they had running toilets and, you know
Oh
what I'm saying?
man, they look.
And that's the Atlantis we're talking.
That's right.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
That's
And they
what-
found certain structures and
Right.
things down
Right,
there.
right.
I used to have a tape of a man when they said in search of. I don't know if I can find it now, but he went, there was a storm or something, he went
Right.
scuba diving down there and found a structure down there.
Right.
Went down there, went in, one of them was a pyramid.
Right.
He went in the pyramid and found stuff in there, but one of the structures in there had a hand like this, and there was a crystal. He was able to get the crystal out of the hand and bring it up. When he brought it up, he found that when he takes some metal things hanging on a rope or something, a chain, and brought it in at a certain angle, it floated. Now, I used to have that tape, but it was In Search Of was the name of the, you know, yeah, name of the program.
It was another one, you know what I'm saying, I don't know, teacher, it was another one that they showed on the news, and it was been a few months ago, that it was an old statue. You know, and that statue that they had was sitting, it had something to hold it in the hand. And then on the news, you know, we gotta have a conscious mind and watch all the things that we see that's presented around us. And what he had in his hand, and they were saying on the news, was just briefly, they said, what do it look like? It looked like a laptop. You know, so we're talking about a statue that they found all the way back, and it looked just like a laptop that he had in his hand.
Well, our teacher told us many times that there's nothing new here. Yeah, yeah. We brought this stuff down.
Exactly.
Okay, they're building up on it. Yes, sir.
Many of the things that you're talking about are displayed at the Smithsonian. Because we never go there.
Right, right.
And all of these things actually have whole buildings that they keep them in. You can walk and look at them. And they had a crystal that you're talking about. They put things above it and it levitates.
Yep.
And it's sitting right there. You can look at it.
Right.
Where's this?
I got it.
The Smithsonian Institute in Washington.
The main thing is for us, if you take nothing else away, we are those people that built those things on this planet. We've just been in a slumber. That nature, that's part of nature's process. Now, if we can begin to lift our minds enough to let go of him and focus our mind on mathematics, on the sciences. We were masters of all of that. See? So we gotta change, we gotta have a change of mindset. New mindset. Let me finish this. Now listen to this. One or the others of the two natures in man must win eventually.
Right.
The future happiness and progress of man depends on the eventual supremacy of the soul. If we want happiness, we gotta lift our minds. We gotta do that. We gotta get out of that thing with him. And he knows he got us tangled up, see? He knows that. So we can't let him win and use our minds against us. He's using our minds against us.
Using your power.
He couldn't do it if we didn't let him do it. We're the ones.
But only because we in that night sleep, that's the only way he can
Exactly. That's why he's able to do what he's doing. Because of this natural cycle.
Exactly.
But it's time now, the vibration is on the rise. We can go with this vibration, but in order to do it, you gotta get your energy above this heart center.
Go ahead, raise that kundalini. Yes, sir.
And and get up here, see, we start stimulating those higher dormant faculties of mind.
So you say you got to get above your heart center. So to me, anything below the heart center would correlate to the planetary day, and anything above the heart center would be the planetary day.
You got the opposite.
Right. So it'd be the night down here when you go up above that heart chakra.
That's
you
right.
in the day.
Then daylight comes.
You're right. You're on
So
the sun rises within us.
yes, sir. So at the same time, since we vibrate as you go into the planetary day, you vibrate on a higher frequency. So when we existed then, since we've been here several lifetimes, when we was in the day, we had to be not just dense. We had to be more like fluid beings or something that's vibrating on a high level, because we can't exist in this form, in this density, with a vibration that high.
Well, now let's look at the structures. See, the structures are dense.
Yeah, but
So we had to be dense to handle those structures.
but I'm saying like when you start going into high vibration,
Right.
you can't exist. You can't. Certain things can't. Like if a lady hit a certain note, a glass will shatter because the vibration is so high.
Right.
So when we existed at a high vibration, we had to be somehow, some way different because if so, we couldn't take it. Just as so like when you blow a dog whistle, you can't hear it because it's on a whole different frequency. So on a whole different vibration. So as we rise higher, we have to change some type of way.
Well, we transform ourselves.
But you still gonna have form.
You still
See,
gonna have
energy has
form.
to have form.
But it would be a
See,
transformer.
It'll be a transformer.
We'll be different from what we are now,
You see
though.
yourself now, right?
So we got to be different from this form. We
Yes,
gotta
sir. But we'll be
change
formed.
some way.
The mind is the thing that changes. And then changing the mind, when you elevate the mind, you elevate the form.
So you vibrate high. So just you thinking on a.
But we already have the highest and the lowest in us because we got God in us. That's the highest vibration you can get. God is in us already.
So we start to lean more towards a high vibration in your thinking and your actions.
That's right.
Then you start to rise, and those low level things that's in the planetary night you don't think about, or that's in your lower chakras. You have control over. Well, this is running this instead of this running this.
That's right. You transform the Lord.
Right. And to me, it all depends on how bad you want it. Right, you know what I'm saying? And it just happened with this brother.
Well, now I'm gonna tell you, it don't matter how bad
Right.
you wanted this fella here.
Right. But the reason I was saying that is that because
The only way you gonna win with this fella, you gotta do
we got
it.
want it, right? And that's how bad.
You gotta
do
tame that fella.
You got to tame it, exactly. The reason I was saying that is, for example, when I just meeting this guy here, you know what I'm saying, I met him through the Hanukkah. Last week we came here, you know, and we set up in front of my house and he gave me some information. You know what I'm saying? I was smoking. I said, well, you know, man, I said, I just got to stop there smoking. He said, well, you know what I'm saying? He said, you know what I'm saying? He said, well, that's simple. He said, look at that pack of cigarettes. He said, and this guy on there kills 3.5 million people a year. He said, why don't you think that you'll be one of them 3.5 million? Then some just went in me like a light. And then I put him down.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? He said, what makes you think? You know what I'm saying? It's how bad you want it. You know what I'm saying? It's going to elevate you to that light.
That's right.
Because you'll be always
Okay.
into darkness
Yeah.
until somebody wake you up into truth.
That's
you gotta
right.
be able to receive
That's
it.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
Good.
And receive it, act on it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I thank God for this brother here. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And I've been traveling these roads. You know what I'm saying? Listening to this brother, bring me out into that dark part,
Yeah.
into a light, you know what I'm saying? But it comes through people.
Yeah.
You got to have that willing ear to hear.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That heart of understanding.
You
And
gotta
then the way
be
you acknowledge
you gotta be a seeker.
Yes, sir. That's what it is. Thank you.
You gotta be a seeker. And he that seeketh,
Yes, sir.
he gonna lead you to somebody that's gonna give you something that
That's
you
what I'm
need.
saying, exactly.
Yes, sir.
Like
All right.
this brother here, this new brother here, he got a question about the killers, about the
Oh,
killers.
yeah, I'm sorry, bro.
So basically, in other words, about willpower.
Willpower is a part of it because, you know, that's the true God in you.
Well, no, the reason why I said will because like the brother was saying, you want it to
Yeah.
change. So a lot of times I look at it like a lot of people willpower just kind of just fades,
Mm-hmm.
and then people who are trying to actually elevate themselves, their willpower is just up there. And a lot of times, like lately, I've been doing it lately, like willing myself to make sure that I don't let that beast
That's right.
take me over.
Exactly.
Right,
So,
yeah. Okay,
Okay.
yeah, that's it.
Okay.
And then, you know, when you want something different, you don't want the old thing.
Right.
You don't want what was. Man, I'm tired of you. You know, I want something different in my life.
Yes,
And I think that's why everybody's here.
Yeah, yeah.
Because they're seeking something better than what we got now.
Exactly.
We need some information, some explanation about what is going on with us. And then we're gonna be ready to fight for it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can.
Yes, sir.
I know the Gemini, that's part of the planetary day, that's my zodiac sign, Gemini. So I wonder how that, like, I know that's Greek, you know what I'm saying, Gemini,
Well,
but I don't know how that.
you know, probably the way it's written in back in ancient Kemet is different.
I gotta read up on it, you know, about the ancient.
Huh?
I know that, I'm gonna have to read, you know, study more about, you know, Gemini.
But the way this is put together is so that we can understand the ancient wisdom teachings. Okay? And during this time, this blackout here, all this stuff was mixed up because people was changing it, putting what they want to in it, you know. But there's a certain method to it.
Hey, but can I ask this thing? Even the dark part, the planetary night, planetary day, can it change and say we're in darkness? You know what I'm saying? When we see Sagittarius, you know what I'm saying? But can that change, the darkness change, it go like the Scorpio, Virgo, you know what I'm saying, into the other planetary day, you know what I'm saying, as far as the signs?
Well,
or do they remain the same like that?
Well, you know, let's take it just like January, February.
Right.
January, February is always
cold. Okay, I got you. Okay.
June, July.
Right. Oh, man. I got you.
You see it? It just means that this is a certain point in time.
Right, okay.
It's a certain point in time, or a certain point in space, when the system of this solar system is moving through a certain section of space.
Okay. But through the darkness, so it's a planetary night, so when we get into those, let's say the zodiacs, you know what I'm saying, it remains the same, that's the time you in darkness.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying, darkness, and then we're speaking of darkness of our mindset.
Well, this, just like this night.
Right.
You know, it's always during this time.
Okay.
In the day.
Okay.
You see, and it's always, because be honest with you, there's cosmic energy coming in on the planet.
Oh, okay.
So when you're in a certain section of space, you're influenced by certain systems.
Yes, sir.
Certain systems, just like, okay, the sun. The sun is considered an electric generator. So when we come into a certain system of planets, there's a certain type of energy that's coming in.
Exactly.
Right.
When we move on to another, 2,000 or 3,000 years later, we come influenced by another system.
Can that be exactly what they say? And I'm not saying it's true or not, maybe you might know more about it, is how the moon affects the ocean.
Oh yeah,
most
right.
definitely.
All of that.
And you too.
Right. Yes, sir.
Right.
There you go. So we get energy.
Right. Now you're talking about systems and things beyond the solar system. See, you're beyond the solar system. So whatever supernovas,
black holes,
quasars, pulsars, all of that affects the energy in this brain. See, they've done experiments and they found that you raise the frequency and the energy of electricity, and it activates certain things in the brain. So they noticed that during certain places in the space, you come under the influence of certain systems. You got suns and things, man, that,
yes, sir,
that'll raise you right up out of this earth.
Exactly.
See, but we got to be qualified. You understand? Otherwise, this energy coming in on this planet will either transform you or disintegrate you.
Right.
And nobody can stop it. Look at Trump. You know, if he could, he'd stop what was going on. He either is going to have to change,
or he left behind,
or make a fool out of himself, and they take him out of office. Now we all hoping they take him out of office. Maybe he'll change. Let's give him that. Maybe he'll change. He give everybody a chance to change, because we all got that thing that need to be transformed in ourselves, right?
Right. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, to go off the brother's question about something, we have to get out of the Euro-Gentile mindset that because those certain zodiac signs are in the darkness, and that's your sign, it don't make you a people of the darkness.
Right.
We're talking about evolutionary process.
Exactly.
So as you evolve into another, you take on another vibration.
That's right.
You see what I'm saying? So we don't get locked in that Roman Greco-Euro-Gentile mindset that that's all
That's
it is.
you, right, because of the same.
Right, we
Right.
reverse. When you lock in a world mentality, you can't go outside the world.
Okay, good point. I missed that.
Yes, sir.
Let's take, for example, the ability to function and gain information, knowledge, So it doesn't matter, where you were born. It's matter that you were born, and that you have this knowledge, and you can use it to your advantage to progress, right? You can build happiness for yourself by this knowledge. You can progress. And all this depends on your ability to absorb information and move on with it. Man, we are little gods, man. Wait a minute, hold it. We're little gods. He didn't make us to be slaves. We're down here to learn to master this thing. He didn't put a little bit of himself in you, which is the God, to be a slave. He wants you to understand that you're my son, you're a master. I'm a master, you're a master.
So is it true that one can't exist without the other? You know what I'm saying? Like at this time and day.
What are you talking
You know
about?
what I'm saying? Can good exist without evil?
Well, you know, there is no such thing as
evil and good.
right.
Your ways.
There's just the lowest degree of good.
So can one exist without the other?
Well, it's all God. It's all God. It's all God. Wait a minute, hold it. Let me see. Now look at this.
Resonate, come on, fam.
See, let's say this is the lower part.
Right.
This is the highest part.
Right.
Well, it's all God.
Okay.
What we're trying to do is work from the lowest part up to the highest part. Because the higher we get, the more control we have over the lower. Because the higher the vibration, it controls the lower. It'll either transform it or neutralize it. So you can move right on up. That's what he wants us to do. God, the Creator, wants us to go from where we are, the lower vibration, up into the higher. When we get up here, we dominate everything below us.
So is there a reward behind it? What do we get after we?
Domination and control and freedom. We become God, men and women.
Right, okay. That's reward.
That's it. Well, hey, what is anybody gonna do with us if we're God?
Right.
You got a thermometer, right? And on a thermometer, you have hot and you got cold, right? Or whatever. Tell me where hot start and cold begin. You can't you? They're the same energy, just different ends of the scale. And then your hot ain't my hot, and my cold ain't your cold. It's a medium point in there, but it's the same energy, like night and day. You can't have one without the other. But they the same. Whether you just, instead of eating, like I'm gonna eat good, I'm gonna eat bad, you just eat. It's the same thing. But
see, we don't, we shouldn't let ourselves remember that where we come from and who we are. Okay? You don't let yourself think that, oh man, I'm stuck here. I'm stuck in the planetary night forever. No, you're not.
And the reason I'm saying that, brother, you know what I'm saying, because if I see it's something that you doing, you know what I'm saying, it's not enhancing my way of walking up to that higher part of me. You know what I'm saying? And yours might be the worst of it. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking that you put it for that reason so I can see that, so I can't repeat what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? So that's why I say, can one exist without the other?
Everybody got a place.
Everybody got their place and their part that they play. And yours might be for the enhancing of me to get to where I'm at. But I'm not still saying you lost.
I ain't
You know what I'm
either.
saying? But you know what I'm saying? But you was used as a tool to help me.
Yeah, because you see somebody
Well,
doing.
let's look at this.
Yes, sir.
This is a schoolroom.
Yes, sir.
The earth is a schoolroom.
Yes, sir.
We're in a schoolroom.
Right.
And we got everybody in varying degrees of development.
Yes, sir.
Okay?
Right.
So you learn, 4 methods of learning.
Right.
The letter.
Full.
The letter. That's the lowest degree.
The letter.
Conversational. Experience. And the last and the best is observation. Observation over the experience. Why? Because you can experience something and not be conscious of it.
Exactly.
And you can't gain information from it because you're so wrapped up in the experience. Everybody else can see, but you messed up in it, and you can't really get the benefit of the experience because you're so wrapped up in it. But observation, I can sit back, lay back, and see everything you're dealing with. And say, man, Look at that brother.
Yeah, right, right,
Wow.
right.
You know, I know I ain't gonna do that.
That's right.
You
That's
can't see
right.
until you step out the circle.
Right, right.
Yes, sir. To further go with your question there, don't intermix, two things cannot occupy the same space at the same time.
Exactly, okay.
You see,
I
so
see
once
what
you understand that concept, the duality of positive and negative
Right.
has to exist in order for motion.
Right,
So it's not like, see, we're getting that Greco concept of male being greater than female, positive being greater than negative.
Right.
When in reality, they both got a part to play for
Exactly.
the overall picture.
right, there you go.
So that's the
Yeah,
key
that's
to
what
it. So
you're
it's
saying,
not
right.
good and evil.
Right.
Evil is just the misuse of good. You
Right,
see
there
what
you
I'm
go,
saying?
okay.
Or the lowest degree of
Something like that.
Yes,
Yes,
Yeah,
right.
the lower degree of
Right,
it.
okay.
Yes, sir.
The higher and lower degrees are something we have to observe across the board in everything.
Mm.
If you talk about love, we think hate is the opposite of love. It is on the same scale as love. It's odds and ends.
Right,
It's
yeah.
the same emotion.
Same motion,
Same
different.
thing. And that's across the board in everything.
Right,
We raised up overnight. We had
All
folks in here, bro.
Now we're gonna finish up this thing. I didn't mean to spend this much time. There's so much.
Never do, Brother Brown.
It is man's duty to learn of ways and means of giving the inner self and divine nature of man every opportunity to assert its most magnificent mastership. That's what we're here for. Is learn of ways and means to overcome this beast nature. Is within us, so that this created that. That's the God that created this body.
So it is. Go ahead.
So we gotta keep going and learning about this beast nature so we can deny it and then give the chance for the soul to come out and shine. Okay?
Brother, could you read that again, that part about the opportunity, that purpose with the opportunity or something like that?
Yeah. It is man's duty to learn of ways and means of giving the inner self and divine nature of man every opportunity to assert its magnificent mastership.
All right, thanks.
Yes, sir. All right. Okay, now I was gonna spend a little bit of time on that, you know, and then I want you all to get the benefit of listening to my teacher. And then we'll go on from there.
Each planetary cycle in that right there, that's like, each one is like 2,600 years, ain't it though? 2,500?
2,160.
Okay.
The whole cycle is a 25,000 year cycle.
Yeah, 25,920 years in there, the whole cycle. But the main thing you tell your brothers and sisters that the white man didn't do it.
That's right.
He didn't take us down.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And then on your other chart, you got that one right there, you got in your hand, and it say, we moving towards wisdom consciousness, right?
Right, that's the last consciousness that we
So
did.
that means that our main goal in this thing, you talked about reward. What's my reward? I said like your main goal is to be to observe, to take in knowledge, to take in wisdom, because that's the direction you're moving anyway.
Right.
So that means that should be the reward, to get the wisdom, to get the knowledge. So that means all we should be out here chasing is knowledge. That's your reward, is the knowledge. You know, because to walk around without the knowledge, that I'd rather have it than not have it. To not have it and it's available is like real damaging to you. Or you just like stay lost.
Well, you know, you're going to be judged by your innermost, the God in you. That's who judges us. You know, if you're doing something that he knows you know better, oh, you're going to have something to say about that. The God in you is the judge of you. If you're doing something he know you know better than to do it, he going to let you know. Now, you know better than that. That's why a lot of us are suffering out here now. Because we're doing things and God in us knows that we know better. We're not representing him like we should.
See, that's the
That's his
greatest,
first son.
that's the greatest deception, is to make you believe that your reward is in some heaven after you die, rather than get the knowledge. See, you see how he's discerning this. We have a poor definition of reward. We just redefine reward as gaining that divine, that wisdom knowledge.
Yes, that's
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
So
sir.
that's reward, not some pie in the sky after you die.
So we're saying
That's the great
the
illusion.
reward is just gaining the wisdom.
There you
That's
go.
You know what I'm
right.
saying?
That's
So,
right.
but if you gain the wisdom and you're not using it, you know what I'm saying, properly, or putting it back out there, so what do we gain?
But
Well, the first step is to get
But if you got it, you just know it's like when you start getting it, you'll automatically change. You can't get it and not change.
Right.
You know,
Right.
it's not possible. It's like if you know you supposed to eat right, and you know if I keep eating this, it's gonna kill me, and you keep doing it, then you should die.
You should,
That's relative. That's relative. That's not
you know, brother, you know what I'm saying, it's a thing that happened to me, you know what I'm saying, that this was at my job, just this past week. You know, and I try to be a man, I don't deal with foolishness, and I try to stay away from all that kind of stuff. Anyway, one of the guys, and it makes me feel good because I know I'm pushing at that point. You know, I said, for someone to come to you, and then look at you, you know what I'm saying, they might ask you a question, hey man, such and such, you just answer. And then they look and they say, man, you just so humble. You know what I'm saying, but you look, man, you just humble, man, but you know, you look at you till you tear something up. I say, well, I need to walk away. You know what I'm saying, few words. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's when
That's
you're
right.
knowing that you become into that.
Yeah,
I
that's
said,
right.
Planetary of light, of day. You understand what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You gotta be, to me, it works for me.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? A few words, and then let them see the work that work is inside of you. You know what I'm saying? You don't take the glory of it. Hey, well, this is me. No, let them see.
Let's see,
Like what
there's
you do.
there's a section in the Bible
Right.
where it talks about the tongue.
That's it.
Tongue is an unruly member.
That's right.
Yes, sir.
Right.
See, it boasts great things,
Exactly.
you know. Oh, what a great fire a little member kindles.
Right.
It is set on fire the course of your nature.
Exactly.
Now, when they talk about the course of your nature, they're talking about the elements in these forms.
Right.
You know, if you get back and forth, start yapping and everything, oh man, that'll get you excited. Well, you know it, you done got mad and heart palpitation and everything. The lower nature start coming out. So we have to really watch the tongue. You know, and it gives an example. You know, you can put a bit in a horse's mouth, right?
It uses that too.
And you can control that horse,
It uses that.
right? Or you can use the rudder. And the rudder would turn a great ship by a small rudder in the back. But that tongue, see, is just like that. And if it's not controlled, boy, before you know it, you'll be upset and angry and shaking. See? But we have to know these things so we know how to put this fella in check. If you know that, then you know, look, I can't fool with you, because if I do, you know, I'm gonna go places I don't wanna go. And I can't let you take me there. So, but it's a schoolroom, y'all.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
It's a schoolroom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's been given so much knowledge, and I feel good because I think I'm right where I need to be.
That's
Brother
right.
Donna Kofi told me that it's going to be a meeting today. And for some reason, last night I was thinking about it, and I have learned that you got to look for knowledge wherever you can find it, and don't hold back none of it, because truth got a certain ring to it that you will know. So I just like to read what I wrote down last night before coming here that seemed like it's in tune with everything here.
Yes, sir.
It's from the King James Version of the Bible, Luke, New Testament, 11th chapter, the 33rd to the 36th verse. It says, "No one, when he has lit a lamp, put it in a secret place or under a basket, but on a lampstand, that those who come in may see the light. The lamp of the body is the eye. Therefore, when your eye is good, your whole body also is full of light. But when your eye is bad, your whole body also is full of darkness. Therefore, take heed that the light which is in you is not darkness. If then your whole body is full of light, having no part dark, the whole body will be full of light, as when the bright shining of a lamp gives light. And I just want to share that because we were talking about planetary day and planetary night, and that you can have knowledge and it be dark knowledge.
That's right.
Yep.
And that's the animal that you said, the beast without wings.
Yeah, yeah, that's right.
And so I just want to share
Thank you,
that.
brother.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank
sharing
you
that with
for
us.
allowing me.
Yes, sir.
Remember, they got it from us.
That's the thing.
Profoundness in their teaching is where they got, in the King James Version, that's what they got it from.
Yeah,
Us.
yeah.
Right.
Yes, sir.
They didn't know nothing about this, and they're gonna need help. We're gonna have to help them
After
where we can. You know, now you can't, baby, you can't help your own. You know, everybody
Right.
won't listen to you.
Right.
Right. But when you get the opportunity and you can, you drop some light on.
Yes, sir.
Okay, that's what we're supposed to
That's
do.
the duty.
We're the oldest, right?
Yeah,
He's looking for us to do this. Now we tied to him, y'all.
right,
Ain't gonna be no peace till we teach them how to be peaceful.
right.
That's when the end gonna come.
In other words, you gotta train a dog.
Now, all right, now wait a minute, hold it, hold it. Now listen,
Symbolic.
wait a minute. This dog first.
That's what I'm saying.
Right.
That's the dog I'm talking about. All right.
I'm gonna make sure.
Sir, want to make sure you're pointing fingers.
You ain't never, this dog, that dog. Hey, this one here.
Well, ain't that so we train other dogs, but not this dog?
Right.
Yes, sir.
I remember one time, my brother was discussing at the mosque in Chicago. He was talking about killing the white man, killing the beast. Malcolm turned around and said, you gotta kill the beast in you first.
Yeah. Right.
Malcolm,
Malcolm didn't play.
no.
At the beginning of creation, when he made man, he made beasts too, you know what I'm saying? And we look at the animals out there, but we don't look at the beast that's within us. Because he said that in the beginning, you know what I'm saying?
Be a second manifestation of you.
Oh,
You want to see evil in yourself.
Yeah, this is not dealing with astrology. This is dealing with the zodiac. That's beyond astrology. Astrology is our little solar system. That's what they're dealing with. But what we're talking about is what the whole solar system, the Earth, is going through. The Earth is not just individual. See, individual is astrology, and it also denotes creative, the creative urge, the creative force, involution, devolution, evolution. Now that's another aspect that, you know, we just gonna have, we'll try to do it next time maybe. But this is beyond astrology. This is the planetary cycles of life on this planet.
So what do you go back in? What should I go back?
Well, if you're dealing with astrology, this is not it. Okay, this is zodiac. This is the life force on this planet, producing life in the stages that it went through. You had involution, where the life force went down into matter till it reached the material plane. Then you have devolution, when it reached dense matter. And then from dense matter, it started evolution, which is the life force coming up out of matter. Plant, animal, fowl, man. That's what this is dealing with. This is something that the ancient wisdom teachers brought to help us remember what the creative process actually is.
Yes, there we go.
Let me see if I can.
You'll never know how many. Yes, sir.
Belief the doorway to knowledge?
No.
You gotta know.
Nowhere near.
That belief is a prerequisite for knowing.
True belief, which motivates action, then you learn. Okay? But just sitting there, I believe.
Right.
Right.
You trying to prove I believe, everybody's trying to prove they believe in God.
Right.
So you can't get in the mindset, I've got to acquire this knowledge of it through and by this experience and learn about the God in me.
Go ahead.
So,
We're set off the path.
so seeing as we got a planetary day and a planetary night, seeing that we got an external world, that means it got to be the internal world.
Yeah,
Right.
absolutely.
So instead of us, how we conquested as far in as we have out.
Well, you know,
And that's a whole
since we're
nother
out
subject.
here, since he got us out here, he got us out here for a reason. So let's find that out. Then the inner world, when we're introduced to that, we'll be ready for it. But if we spend too much time, we out here, you know, trying to get to the inner world, then we're off the path.
So, but he said now
Mm-hmm.
that everything I heard is illusion. That means
That's
anything
right.
has changed. That means human, human existence, period, is false. That means the only thing that's real has got to be what comes before this physicality, I guess, this realm. I
Right.
mean, you got to go before this realm to know the truth. You got to go and seek things that come before this existence period to know what's real. So that
Right.
means what's real ain't what's out here.
That's right. There's true reality, right? Objective reality
And subjective
and
reality.
subjective reality. The objective reality comes from the subject.
So that means that your whole external existence in this realm is nothing but a reflection or a manifestation of what's going on the inside of you.
So if we want to learn about what's going on the inside,
Look at the outside because it's just
That's-
a reflection.
that's right.
Right.
So that's how you learn about that. That's how you can make the analogy between the cosmic planetary day and planetary night. That's how we can understand that. We know about periods and cycles because we have those things out here. Now we've been in the planetary night so long we didn't know it existed, and we were in the middle of it.
And didn't know it.
That's right. Affected by it, deceived by it. But once we can begin to acquire some knowledge, we can understand that, you know, he wasn't the cause of it. The white man wasn't the cause of it. It's a natural cycle. And that we can wake that up in us. We can wake up the planetary day today, right now,
sir. Yes,
in us. But we're gonna have to learn about the objective self first. If we concentrate beyond what, you know, self, we're off the path. We gotta learn about this. We gotta get a handle on this fellow here in order to stop him. You can't hit a fastball if you can't see it coming. You know, right? We've got to be able to witness what this fellow is doing. Then once we can do that, we can begin to establish a reputation with ourselves. We can have some confidence in ourselves. Because we begin to recognize where the problem actually lies and what to do about it. Then we just practice on it. Keep going. We see every time we see him rise, okay, I got you. I see you. No, we ain't doing that today. This ain't happening. You know. Then we begin to see what is God doing us. He's helping us. He's all the time trying to teach us. But we just listening to the loudmouth. This is the loudmouth here. You ever seen somebody talk loud all the time, dominate the conversation? Man, you can't. That's him. He want to be in control of the situation. Me. I want to do it. Can't talk about nothing important. You know, you just want to yak. You just want to be heard, be in the forefront. So we got to learn about that. That's what we're faced with. That's what we're down here for. You see what I'm saying? And if we don't stay on top of that, then we get caught up in that. He wants us to be, you know, boy, it's heartbreaking. Our people are living to die.
Yep.
Dying, I'll be glad when I'm dead and gone. Gone to heaven. Well, why we got to die to go to heaven then? He made us here. Why? How come we can't have our heaven right now?
Believe in something else.
This fella don't want no heaven. We get rid of him, we got heaven. Because the cause of the destruction of our heaven is this fella. You notice how he don't ever want you to have some peace of mind. He's always trying to get you upset about something. You ever notice that? You know what so-and-so did the other day? Made me gossip, man. You know, it keeps you thinking and churning on that. And you get mad all over again about so-and-so. Then when you see him, then you gotta try to act civil because, you know, he didn't really say anything today about it. But you've been thinking about what he did, something. You see what I'm saying? So it keeps you upset and churned. That's his trick. God got us in a body to learn about the nature of these bodies.
So, seeing that we are nothing but, you know, a complication or of things, you know, like your mind, your will, your emotions mean a whole lot. Things like that. Your thinking means a whole lot. So it's like you almost have to have some mind training or some training in how to control your emotions or some training how to think or how to be versus just, like you say, believing or following in a certain path. You got to be trained how to think or how to combat that which comes against you. You got to have tools. You got to have some type of input or something to work with. You know what I'm saying? Even you gotta have some tools.
You got to see in yourself that you need to change, to control this fellow. You need to see that, we need to see that in ourselves first. Now, when we see that, then we know what we gotta do. We know we gotta shut this fellow down. He ain't gonna quiet, he ain't gonna give you no peace. Once you know that about him in yourself, then you got a chance to master that fellow. But you gotta study him, you gotta see what the trend of his thoughts, what's going on. You know, why is he trying to get me going this way all the time? Because he don't want me to have no peace of mind. He don't want me to have no harmony in myself. If I got some harmony in myself, I can spread it to my family. I can spread it in the atmosphere of my house. I can give it to my children. I can give it to my spouse. I can be the sun that she needs to shine in this home. See, I can go to my brothers and sisters and give it to them. You know what I'm saying? But he don't want that. And we got to recognize who the true villain is and deal with him. Then, then it's all right, man. I got my heaven right here. I can go to my Father and say, okay, now I've done my part. You know, the master used to tell us, if we knew that our Father was a multi-billionaire, a zillionaire, we knew that, and we were representing him right, we'd go and ask him for anything we want.
That's right.
Because we're his sons, true sons. So we're down here to learn that. That's why we're down here faced with this. That's why he put us in a body, set us in this environment. Because this is what we need to know to learn to become God, men and women again. To wake us up. Sooner or later he realized we're going to get tired of this. I don't know what I need, but I know I don't want this. I want better than this. I deserve better than this. And I'm out to get it. Like you said, you made up your mind that, look, I'm going to master this because it's either master or be master.
Right. And you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? And I see it more like, it's a denial. You know what I'm saying? And when and I try to look at everything open-minded, you know what I'm saying? And not to say, hey, well, you know what I'm saying? Lord, you know what I'm saying? I try to rationalize with self. You know, say, well, hey, you know, saying this can be this, you know, there's a good possibility it can be like that, and then once I grab a hold of it, well, you know, that is better than what I was thinking. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you gotta take your foolish ways and let it go. You know what I'm saying? And grab a hold of something that will make sense, man. You know what I'm saying? And make a better you.
That's
You know what
right.
I'm saying? That's building you, you know? You know what
Why
I'm saying?
wait for, why we got to die to go to heaven?
No, you don't.
You know, you gotta give value to that beast form of the nature, that value, because when it creates dissatisfaction, it then spurs change.
Mm-hmm.
So the value in that opposing self is sometimes to bring out dissatisfaction, to move you or motivate you or force you out of one state of thought into the other.
Right.
So we have to give value to that. You don't hate that, you learn to recognize it for its value.
Right.
And then, like you say, you still have to conquer it, but you see its value.
That's what the Creator was counting on. He said, I'm gonna put you down in here, and sooner or later,
You,
you're gonna wake up the God in you to get out.
there it is. There it is. Right,
Because he's
right,
down
right.
there, he's in there.
Yeah,
You're gonna have to get to him and say, listen, look, I'm tired of this fella.
dissatisfaction.
I'm ready to put, yeah, that's right, dissatisfaction to an alert, sincere-minded student is the road to progress.
Yeah. The Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad taught us that until you reach 75% dissatisfaction, you don't look for change. So until you reach that dissatisfaction, so you gotta go through a whole lot of turmoil and hell,
Mm-hmm.
and then know that when you say you gotta be something better, you reaching that 75% dissatisfaction.
That's that trial and error he was talking about. You
That's
gotta
right.
go through it, you know, that trial and error.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know what I'm saying? I mean, we looking over there, or King Jim Young, you know what I'm saying? He keep on sending up missiles. Why?
Right.
Because he know one of them gonna work. You know what I'm saying? But he's still those trials, you know what I'm saying?
Yes,
Still,
sir.
you know what I'm saying? And then one day he's gonna perfect.
But I tell you one thing I'm glad of, because I started sending up some prayers, because I know Trump's crazy. You know, fool around, we all be in the middle of nuclear war. You know, so
It's already called.
what happened? Oh man, it was beeline. That's where it was gonna go. You know
Yes,
what he
sir.
gonna do?
Yes, sir. They
They're warmongers, man.
Bring it into reality.
They're ready to kill, blow up, and
Yeah.
tear up because they know their time is coming anyway. So you know what I'm saying?
Right.
So
I
when I
can't
was
hear.
praying, I had some brothers. You know, we were sending up some energy. So what happened was the unexpected. The two nations got together,
Mm.
North and South Korea.
Go ahead.
They said, listen, you know, we got to come together on this because this fella here is gonna blow up everybody.
Yes, sir.
But,
See?
but we gotta understand this. For that reason, he was put there. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
To break
yeah.
us up.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
not an accident that Trump is there.
That's what I'm saying.
It's
You know,
not even an accident, you know, he's supposed to be right where he at.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I
That's
never
right.
tried, I guess that was Farrakhan and one of his speakers, he said, man, you know, say he's thankful that he's right there. He said he's doing just what he's supposed to. He's right in that whole house, that White House. And he's right there doing what he's supposed to do. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it might look horrible to us. You know what I'm saying? But you
Well-
gotta try to get into that inner.
Well, you
You know what
know,
I'm saying? They know.
if that's what it takes to wake us up,
Exactly.
that's what I
you know, it's
say.
just that, you know,
It ain't
that's,
business as usual. no
you know,
more.
that's just living on the edge. I'd rather, you know, us just kind of get
Go
together.
on and wake up.
You know, I mean, I heard him quote out of King James, but I do a lot of 1599, a bishop and a great, you know what I'm saying, way before King James book, you know what I'm saying, you understand about King James, you know what I'm saying, where he got that right, but they got the bishop, the great, and the Geneva, 1599 was before his time, this thing happened, but when I listen to him, you know what I'm saying, and the book will tell you what you read, in the King James, you know what I'm saying, all the leaders that put in position. He said, I put them there. You know what I'm saying? He's the one put them in office and I take them out of office. You know what I'm saying? So I tell you, you ain't got no control over that. You know what I'm saying? Instead of me sitting there judging that man for what he's doing, hey man, you know, he doing what he's supposed to do.
Oh, yeah.
It don't have no effect on my life.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying? Because I know I'm the child of that Most High.
All right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Okay.
As long as I'm believing that and then I'm walking that way. You know what I'm saying? And then that light that you talking about and you seeing it and then you able to come back to me and tell me what you see, what I'm representing. I know I'm steady walking, I'm steady getting there.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And that's what I live for.
Right.
You know? So
But he's looking for his sons to wake up.
that's right.
He's looking for his, he's counting on that. And we count on him when we do things that we're supposed, we see our responsibility in it. There's enough brothers here to change the world.
That's right.
But we gotta see where, you know, the true change comes. And it comes in the study of ourselves.
That's right.
From within.
That's right.
And become brothers and sisters.
Exactly.
Then we can demand from the Father, look, bring us another Barack Obama back up there. No. Well, you know, but let me tell you, I'd rather have that puppet than this puppet.
Right. You talk about the lesser of two evils, and
Yeah.
the evil
Yeah.
is necessary
I'd rather
for
have
us.
that puppet,
Yes, sir.
because we were better off under that puppet than we were.
We lost more black men to
We
police
did.
violence under his watch than anybody's.
We did. We did.
And the issue with Libya, with Gaddafi getting killed,
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
brought a whole nother, he had kind of admitted to that, you know, I did make that mistake. So
Yeah.
to me, you know, you have to study the patterns, because a lot of times they would put somebody in there. And I remember the movie Chris Rock did when he was the first president. And that movie did great. And I said, okay, so either they finna come with a black president or somebody who's not white, so they can kind of just keep us calm. So, you know, they play a good game.
But see,
So-
that's
But
the
let me
thing.
tell you, this energy is not gonna let it stay that way.
Right, right.
But
It's either gonna transform us or neutralize us. So we have to change.
But then again, there you go. We just heard you say, we sit here talking, saying, you know, study the self, and try to, people just saying now, rely, start depending on yourself and study yourself. But again, we still putting, you know, hope in Trump and Obama. So just stop putting your hope in them at all. Just don't even give them no energy. They don't even exist. Same way with the white man. Stop giving everything so much energy, and then you just rise above that. That stuff won't affect you no matter what happened. It won't affect you.
So open your eyes and seeing truth, you know what I'm saying, as you took that card and you saw seeing truth, and then you start going into it within, and then you question self and you ask, you know what I'm saying, are we here by ourselves? You know what I'm saying, are they going to a higher energy, or you know what I'm saying, a different energy? You know what I'm saying, that's out here, you know what I'm saying, and they are out there. You know what I'm saying, they are out here, you know what I'm saying, and you know what I'm saying, because even what you hear when they talk, you know what I'm saying, how they sit up there and say, hey, you know what I'm saying, we went to the angels. You know what I'm saying, I just heard that.
But I'm saying, you know, when you go to that realm, you can go.
Well, you
It's just,
got to
if you don't, it's just like he just said a minute ago, we gotta stop saying, oh, kill the white man, because that's you giving too much energy to that. It's like, what are you giving all of your energy to? You being sucked dry by that, it depletes you, just like the negative energy saying, guy come in the house, he got negative energy, you are depleting, you ain't adding to nothing. So when you say, oh, Trump gonna kill us, Obama gonna kill us, the white man, we gonna kill the white man, you depleting yourself, and all that energy just giving up to everything else and return inside and work on yourself.
Well, now, what we really want to go to in this scenario is when you begin to run for office.
I ain't doing that.
Wait a minute now, hold on now, bro.
Go
Wait a
ahead.
minute, wait.
Go ahead.
Why not? You go and take a office. Well, who gonna step up to go there? We're not involved enough in these processes that control our lives.
When have we ever been?
Affect our lives.
When
I'm
have
saying
we
they
ever
don't
been
control.
involved enough in the processes that affect our lives? You know what I'm saying? We do certain things. We made some progress, but with the dying and the killing and all that type of things, we not doing it right, because if we gonna have so many people being killed, so many people dying, so many people doing so many things, and so if we were doing something right, then we would see some results of it right now. And it ain't.
We got to learn that. You know, there's a talk, I don't know if you heard of him, his name is Umar Johnson. You know what I'm saying? He has such a good vision, man. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know what they talk bad about him. I don't care. You know what I'm saying? But the vision that he had, I know that if we put that into process, it'll work. He was talking about taking our youngsters, building a school. You know what I'm saying? Taking them from grade 1 to, you know what I'm saying, this level. Even if he meant long back, he gave us the vision. So if we can embrace that vision and we can carry it on, you understand? How can we, then we can start taking off. We can start teaching our kids how to be powerful and take them off. As they teach, as the Jews teach theirs. You understand? Let's start embracing our youth.
Yeah, that's what Umar talking about. And they say, oh, he wrong. Man, I ain't caring, but his words are good. You know what I'm saying? Embrace his words. Listen to him.
That's the essence of the art of war. Remember, when you try to take your children out of the system that they trying to inculcate or incarcerate,
Right.
you now become an enemy. So they already know all divide and conquer.
Right.
So all of that is already orchestrated with Umar's dilemma, whether he embezzled or not.
Right.
The enemy just uses that part to cause the division and
Right, that's
separation.
right.
They
Exactly.
taught you how to think, so
Right.
they know how you're gonna react.
I mean,
All I gotta do is create the scenario.
it's like the liberators. They what they? Oh man, look at them. They just stand up, but they
So
was out
we
here
caught
doing
up into
that.
the debate whether he did or he didn't, which is
That's right.
irrelevant
Right.
because you gotta understand warfare.
Right.
His institution wasn't ingrained. Remember, the destruction of every black organization has
Right.
been from within.
Right.
Because they wasn't
Right.
protected, they
Right.
was not well rooted or well grounded.
Exactly.
So he's out of season. We gotta get this straight before we even start any of that demonstration.
Exactly.
You see what I'm saying? And as far as the political process, you gotta look at it like, don't try to fix a defunct system. This system was created on murder, mayhem, and destruction. So why would I even want to try to reform it? All we have to do is go back and pick up where we supposed to be. Remember, under segregation, we were forced into our own social, political, economic, and spiritual order. The Euro-Gentile had no influence on that. And so we have to go back and to the basics.
Yes, sir.
Go ahead.
If you look at, you say the children, but I say, don't say the children. I say, fix the grown folks. The kids only gonna do what they see done. They only gonna imitate what they see around. They gonna imitate what their mom, dad do. They gonna imitate. So the change got to be with you. If you change, then the kid ain't got no choice but to follow. If I just say, oh, I'm gonna put all my faith in the kid gonna change the world. But if you change first, they ain't gonna do nothing but imitate. You look at the kid cuss, whatever the kid do, they ain't doing nothing but imitating. They ain't got no other choice.
Well, it's not like they, you know what I'm saying, it's not like, you know what I'm saying, that's where they want to be. You know what I'm saying, I heard they cry. You know what I'm saying, I'm sitting on a bus and I'm hearing they cry. You know what I'm saying, I'm hearing they look for some kind of leadership. And they say, I'm not talking about like Farrakhan, I mean, we're talking about somebody, y'all had somebody to lead y'all. They crying out on the inside. They looking for that guidance. You know what I'm saying? Just for somebody to sit there and speak truth. Speak truth, you're gonna see everything else will follow. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to come and fill this place up.
Are you working with any youth?
Well, you know what I'm saying? I'm working with I'm working with people as I see them now. I work with a lot. You know what I'm saying? I even work with, I don't even use with older people.
You work with older people, or you?
Oh, you older, you know what I'm saying, but it's better, you know what I'm saying, I mean, if we instill it, and I say, you know what I'm saying, we can't give up on our youth, you know what I'm saying, you know what I'm saying, and then when you said start with us, you know what I'm saying, and a lot of us has been destroyed, it's a new generation, you know what I'm saying, and then they into more than what we was, at this time right now.
So how can an
right
old
now.
generation build a new generation?
But take this out, at this time right now, you know how they more into it now? Because of the technology.
You know, now, for instance, hold on, we're working with the youth in drumming.
Yes, sir.
I teach West African
There you go.
percussion.
Yes, sir.
So I'm talking through them,
Yes, sir.
using the instrument of the drum as a means to reach them.
Right.
See, so the old saying that each one reach one, teach
Right.
one, reach one.
Right.
You know, so this is some of my contribution
Yes,
to
sir.
what's going on.
Right.
But we all need to get involved in something
That's something.
and spread the wisdom that we have.
Right.
If we can allow the God in us to work through us, if we can keep in mind that He's there with us as whatever we endeavor to do, will bring out the best. See, but we gotta be willing to take a step and move in some direction to try to bring some information out here. You know.
I got it.
You know, so he's given me that opportunity to use through my instrument that way,
Right.
to teach them and bring them into some knowledge.
Right.
Hold on, let me see, brother here.
I think one of the issues is we're still looking for a leader.
Teach.
Like, I noticed, like, I look at some of the greats and everything, and once, and like y'all said, from within, it falls apart. Everybody can be their own leader, because what I noticed when Malcolm X and MLK got killed, it kind of just fell apart.
Yeah.
it was like, okay, so what do we do now? If we keep on looking for a leader, that's kind of like the religious thing. Like we
There
look
you
for a
go.
God.
There you go.
And to me, like, I look at everybody in here. Everybody in here can lead.
Right.
Everybody in here. So a lot of times we get kind of caught up in that. Well, I want him just to lead, and then once that leader falls, oh, he wasn't nothing anyway. You know, it's kind of like, well, God, dog, when you put him up there, now you're mad because he's starting to show that he's human. You know, so we got to kind of move away from that leader and kind of like, I like role models because see, now I can look up to certain men and be like, okay, I kind of want to have my structure of my family something like his. You see what I'm saying? So when we kind of get out of that leadership, we will be better off.
Yes, sir. Follow nobody but yourself.
I mean,
Yeah.
and
Well, that's it. That's very true.
I mean, it is, but that is, you know what I'm saying, that's what I see common around us as being black folks, you know what I'm saying? We don't wanna even look for that, you know what I'm saying? Which, if we say that we believe there is a creator, you understand, he gonna put somebody here to guide you to that right path.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Every time somebody crossed my path, this brother right here say, you know what I'm saying, oh, he came there because he was supposed to. I said, oh, you know what, that makes a lot of sense. You know what I'm saying? But he's gonna send different people to the path to put you on the road that you should be on. And it might be for you to sit there and guide and lead a group of people. You know what I'm saying? And bring them out of the chaos that they caught up in their mind. The structure of their mind. And then you
Let me share this with you before you go. Can you
Yes, sir.
can you
Yes,
spare
sir.
a few minutes?
Yes, sir.
The country, this is part of the ancient wisdom.
Yes, sir.
The country that seeks direction from God.
Right.
Now that's the God in you
Yes, sir.
that we talking about. You know, we want to know the God and the great creator God. He put a little bit of himself in us. Receives that direction. It is only by so seeking that a nation can gain the powers which exist in nature's consciousness, to bring abundance to the undernourished and light of the spirit into the life of man. If we go deeply into historical evidence, we find that the great lawgivers and statesmen who earnestly aspire for the right direction from God receives the benefit of that knowledge, and that it brings peace and prosperity to their country. See, we had that. A great yogi, a yogis, is one who unites with the God in himself. A yogi means he's a God man.
Yeah.
That's what we all supposed to become when we master matter, God man. A great yogi covering a major political crisis once said, the leaders of the country are blind. They do not know what to do for the country they represent. The light of direction being unsought is denied them because they ain't seeking for it. They're not asking the direction from the God in themselves. They don't care about it. They got money, position, they don't care about it. They work only for the preservation of their party, and the real needs of the people are neglected to the lack of devotion to God, the God in themselves again. The real leaders of a country are prophets. They foresee the trends in things which are to be, and seek to forestall them if they are detrimental to the freedom of the individual. So we need to be the prophets. We need to be the ones that are so in tune with the natural laws and forces of this universe that we can tell people, oh, this is what you need to do. If we're faced with a political situation that our people are dependent on us to solve, we can go within to the God in us. Look, I need help with this. And if we seek it earnestly from the God within us for the sake of the people, it is given us. We got to do it. We got to step up and become that vessel for the God in us to work through and out here to help our people.
The discourse that we've had here tonight, how many people in here believe they've had the faith to reach the belief that we talked about? How many people believe they've had the faith to reach the belief we talked about? Okay, we've made it from the level of faith to belief. Now you gotta step up. Now you're gonna deal with the most difficult thing is, there's something greater than belief.
That's
Who knows what that is? It's called certainty.
Certainty.
You got a job now, because you know what it is you gotta reach. You can't just believe it, you gotta be certain. You ain't gonna make that step. I can put a 2x4 on this floor right here, and blindfold you and tell you to walk across that 2x4. And if I put it between these two buildings, it's the same 2x4. Can you still walk it? Yeah. You gotta step up now.
Certainty.
It's on us.
That was the question I got asked. Somehow, like that's when the teacher was talking on the video. He was talking about the souls and how, you know what I'm saying? I don't even know what the soul is.
Right.
Yeah, so did he ever explain that though?
What the soul is?
Yeah.
We didn't get to that.
Oh, okay, because I wondered.
You want to know what? You want to know what it is?
Let's bring it back.
Okay.
It's always glowing.
See, he taught on that all the time.
Right, okay, yeah. I mean, I was trying to catch it, but I never did. I didn't hear him explain it.
Brother, I hope I see you again, man. Maybe we can do this next week, next month.
Second, I'm gonna block you off on the second Sunday of each month.
Yes, sir.
You get to a point where you say, okay, I'm full. Okay. You gotta be more full.
No,
Cause they're not gonna be full, you know, cause like, this is information, that I think somebody needs to put out there as well, the rest of the information we put out there.
thank you, sir.
You know,
Thank
the
you very
information is powerful.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
No matter the source.
It don't matter the source. It's
That's right.
information, whether you take this information and do something else on the other side with it, that's up to you. At least you have the information.
That's right.
That's our vessel, is information. And this is why we here. But people don't know, this is why Sabaye is here.
God bless Sabaye. Yes, sir. That's right. But remember now, this is
always try to enlighten.
just like he started. This is a responsibility.
Yeah.
Now you just didn't hear it, but he told us this.
Right.
We sitting there listening to him, and he's teaching his heart out. Now we're responsible to take some of this knowledge and help somebody with it. Somebody can use it. Our people need help. And we gotta be, we gotta be touched by that to give them something that they need.
You were saying we need to help somebody. You know that every one of us in here, every single day, we come in contact with 229 people. Every one of us, every day. And many of us think we don't even talk to anybody. We don't have this contact. We have contact with 220 people every day. So we got a job that we're not even doing.
Right. That's right. Let's get busy. Let's get busy. You can say something to somebody. Now this is the information of this new age. It was not to be given before now, because this is the age for it. Okay, and when I say that, I mean the energy coming in on the planet is one that enlightens the mind so that they can absorb it. Okay? Let's give us an image so that we can better absorb this information. Let's say that the sun is the absolute. Not that it is, it's not, but let's use that as an image. And if you ever notice, as the sunlight comes in on the planet, or let's say we're coming into this room and one of these windows used to have a shade, would have a shade in it, and like there'd be a little pinhole in the shade. You see that little coming on out into the floor. Let's name this room here the material plane. And that sunlight, that little pinhole sun, came all the way from the sun in through that little pinhole and into the floor of the room of the material plane. The soul of man, or the real self, which is man. Now remember, this form is not man, right? Mind. Right? Man, the word man comes from the ancient Sanskrit, word manu, which means to think.
Yeah.
Okay, that's mind. All right, the real self, which is man, is a compound. It's made up of many different vibrations. Compound, individualized, self-conscious projection of harmonious vibration, proceeding from the infinite source of all energy. That infinite source of all energy, image-wise, we're using the sun. We don't know how many different rays coming out of the sun, right? Which would be, each ray would be an individual person.
Go ahead.
Infinite source of all energy, and being therefore eternal, because it's a part of the absolute. The absolute, that great principle is eternal.
Right, right, right.
And each one of us is a little ray of that absolute here on the material plane. Let's keep going. In penetrating into the material world, the soul attracts from its surroundings, air, water, earth, etc., all the necessary elements to construct a vehicle or body for its expression on this earth plane. So when that little ray comes into this material plane, it's attracting all the elements, right, to construct these bodies for its expression. What is it going to express? Right? Is a compound, individualized, self-conscious projection of harmonious vibration. You see it? This fella is not harmonious. Yet the winged creature is the one that created the form, because that represents the soul, the absolute, the God in us. All the necessary elements to construct a vehicle or body for its expression on this earth plane. After it has expressed itself on the earth plane for a sufficient length of time, the great law calls it to proceed further, to do some other work. The soul leaves the body now that it created, it attracted together. See, that sufficient length of time can be a lifetime. 80, 90, 100 years or whatever. Then the great law does what? It calls it back to do some other work. The soul leaves the body which bereft of its cohesive power begins to do what? Disintegrate. Because of that, the element which was its source that attracted all the earth, fire, water together is gone now.
Right.
So the body begins to disintegrate and give back to its native elements the materials of which it has been constituted or constructed.
Go ahead.
So the soul just abandoned the body that it created.
Exactly.
So when we say save our soul,
Well, that's the whole thing. The soul is a part of the absolute. It's indestructible. It's eternal. How is this little form here going to save something that's eternal?
Greater than it is
Much greater. Much greater.
the great deception.
The only reason they said that because they didn't know what the soul was. We didn't know because we was asleep, so we fell for it.
Go ahead. Sound good.
You know, it sounds good if you don't know no better.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
That's the whole thing.
Is that why we got reincarnation?
Well, now, let's look at this. This is a schoolroom now. God put us down here to learn lessons. Each lifetime, we have a certain set of things that we're going to learn. If you notice in your life, things repeat themselves.
Go ahead.
See? And we keep going till we learn the lesson. Now, after a while, you know, you need to go home, rest, you know, get something to eat, you know, get straightened out, okay, and then back into the schoolroom.
Right.
Because we got to keep going until we master this fella.
All your season is up. You got what you were supposed to get. Take back.
Oh, now, the last lesson, you know what the last lesson is? When you take this form with you. Whoa.
Yeah.
Too bad, most schools in there. Too bad.
Now you talking about, do we really die?
See, well, there ain't no such thing.
Ain't no such thing
That's why I
as
said
death.
incarnation.
See, but see those men. See, some of them left this earth. They learned the last lesson. You hear them. You read about it in the Bible. You know they said what Enoch,
The genealogy.
Elijah.
Let this repeat.
You know, those men they didn't die. God took them with them. But what they meant was that they took the body with them. When they left, they took the body with them.
Never looked at it that way.
He did it with.
Right. Because you know
He
they
walked
don't
away.
break it down like that. See that's when you through now. I'm gone. I got what I need. I've refined my body so I can take it with me. We're here to perfect ourselves until we can take this thing with us.
So the body is still, we ain't talking about no spirit, we're talking about the physical. What you
Well,
said.
okay, hold on.
Yes.
Hold on.
Cracking these atoms wide open.
Hey. Well, we look.
All night, all yes, sir. It's a lifetime journey. Yes,
Okay,
sir.
give me a little time, stick with me now. I'm getting to where we were talking about, but I gotta go around here to come around here.
That's us.
Okay. All right, now, Jesus. There was no man actually named Jesus. Jesus is a,
Prince
yeah, right,
concept.
you know, a degree of development where you can manifest part of that's God quality, right? That compound projection has reached a degree of development where it can produce divine justice. When the principles of the universe look for someone to represent creative consciousness, they found the carpenter's son. Okay, so just get that straight. When we are born again, we start life anew. We have within us all of our past experiences, although most of us are not conscious of it. Even those who are most advanced have to work hard for a number of years in order to become fully conscious of their own knowledge. It took Jesus over 30 years before he was able to unfold within himself all that was needed for his divine mission. And yet he knew from the very day he entered the material plane that he was to save the world. He knew he had a mission.
Right.
You know, they say in the ancient Kemet that it took 40 years before you could
Master.
graduate from the wisdom school.
That's right.
To get an education, it took 40 years.
Okay, so that's going right along with what you see what I'm saying. Well, let's go.
That's where it
Tradition says that he went into the Ephesian schools to study the science of being. That's what we're talking about now.
goes. Science of existence.
That scientific study, that period of inner development, was necessary to bring back to him in his material embodiment that which he already knew from eternity. You notice how you kept in a certain situation, you know, until you finally overcome it, or you get enough in you to overcome it.
Right.
If you want to know why we caught in a situation where he won't let us go left or right, we just have to stay right where we are. See, that scientific study, that period of inner development.
Go ahead.
You know, if you keep a top on a boiler, you know, something boiling, eventually, but you got to keep it there until it builds up enough pressure to break free. Same thing with us. We got to get to that point where we just sick and tired of being sick and tired,
Break free.
and use that our God quality to use our mind to get up out of here. his material plane, he had to bring back from him in his material plane that which he already knew from eternity. If we consciously express the laws of harmony now, we shall be able to prolong our lives. We shall especially be able to keep to, wait a minute, we shall prolong our lives, and especially we shall be able to keep to the very limit of our days a strong body. Listen to that again now. If we consciously express the laws of harmony now, we shall be able to prolong our lives. And especially we shall be able to keep to the very limit of our days a strong body. A body strong not only in its activities, but also young and harmonious in form. Now I'll be 70 on my next birthday.
Wow.
Yeah, I'll be 70 on my next birthday.
Wow.
See, I'm striving, man.
Yes, sir.
Striving, you know.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I learned that from him.
They already here.
You see what I'm saying? I learned that from him, so I said, well, I got a chance.
Right.
See? All right. If people would live as Jesus did, they would not need to die.
Right.
See, they don't say that, do they? See, they want to say that, then, you know, they put him out, you know, y'all can't do what he did.
Yes, sir.
What? Well, why'd he come here then?
Right. How you gonna give me an example of something?
Well, that's not what he said in the book. He said, marvel not at what I do, the same shall ye do, and even greater.
Right. You're doing great.
What's all that then?
Contradiction somewhere.
See? Okay. If people would live as Jesus did, they'd have no need to die. They would raise their vibrations higher and higher until they would be translated into another plane, as was Jesus, Elijah, Enoch, and others, thus overcoming the last enemy, death. It is not the changing of one body for another that makes people fear death. It is the pain connected with it.
Go ahead.
Because most people suffer terribly when those ties between soul and body are severed.
Go ahead. Painful.
It is also an acute mental agony, especially for those who love life and yet do not believe in a life hereafter. And that is why, after all, the process of dying is such a sad thing. When our mental attitude toward it will have changed, then our physical experience of that transition will also be greatly modified, and we will not fear it any longer. On the contrary, the absolute certainty that we are growing into a better, finer body, raising us into a higher condition, will almost make us desire that change.
So you look forward to that change, huh?
But you know, I don't, you know, I want to stay around here as long as I can,
Right.
you know, to elevate, because this is where the elevation comes.
Right. Yeah.
This is where we learn how to elevate our vibration, our energy, our forces. See, to take this, to get it up enough to take this form with me. And the energy is coming in on the planet to help us. This is where I'm going with it. I'm trying to break it down to you the way he broke it down to us. So we know what's at stake, and what we can do with this new energy. This is the reason why the Creator brought us over here now.
Go ahead. Yep.
He had a reason with this. He didn't just have us suffer for no reason. He loved us more than that. He wasn't playing no games with us. Have us suffer for no reason, nothing. This is why they're trying to keep us from learning about ourselves.
One of the statements you made that we are dealing with this in the hereafter. The hereafter is not just some arbitrary metaphysical statement.
That's right.
It is here. After what?
Mm-hmm.
That's a preparation to get ready to deal with something that's coming. That's
Right.
what that's about.
Right.
Ain't about you dying, going to something up in the sky or something. Ain't none of that. Everything that's been created has been created because a barrier was placed there. You had to overcome. Everything that you see in creation, everything around you, came from your ability to create and overcome that barrier.
He plans to make God men out of us.
Yeah.
So he plans to make God men out of us. That's what all this is created for. To create God men. So we be just like him, God. But if we can't accept that in our head, if that's,
being God.
then we already lost the battle.
Right. Okay, so.
But if you have sons, they meant to be.
Right.
Now, if God created us in his image and likeness, what else is it to be but God in the manifestation in these forms?
And so, you know, you just had said something when you was reading, you was talking about born again. And then this man again, he read from the King James Version, talking about born. He said, how can I be born again once I'm old? He said, can I enter to my mother's womb a second time?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? He said, now believe me, you must be born again. And then that way of born again, if you're looking at it, just as you said, it's changing your ways of thought on how you think.
Well, what Jesus was trying to point out to him there was born into this, the soul is birth.
Exactly.
See? That soul birth. That's the born again.
Exactly.
When the Christ principle in this age, divine consciousness, when that Christ principle, yeah, you right, bro.
Go all night.
Yeah.
That ain't gonna be able to eat the food.
You know what you don't know is this, my stomach is going. But this, you know, I'm obligated to tell y'all.
That's right.
There it is.
Tell my brother Ed, how long we been together just doing this stuff?
But what about
Weekends, the stuff that you're teaching and stuff, it's been years we've been doing this stuff. I mean, there's no time limit on it.
No.
Okay, as long as you come to get educated. We got
So I hope I'll see y'all next month.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Please come out. If you can, bring a friend.
Oh, yes, sir.
All right. They need to know what we know. All right.